One for you.
I knew he was going to say it. I thought he was going to wait for me. What's going on, people? Welcome to United View. Mason Mount. Boom!
Here we go.
Is a Manchester United player. Ornstein, Fabrizio, Ben Jacobs, Samuel Luck, all of them, everybody. Mason Mount is a Manchester United player. Manchester United have agreed a deal. We've made our first signing of the summer transfer window. There's been a lot of gripe, a lot of moaning, a lot of people being upset. What are we doing? A lot of people not sure on Mason Mount, but he is now a Manchester United player. Owen, what's the details? What are all the journalists saying in terms of facts? And we're going to get into you guys' opinions straight after that.
Yes, so Fabrizio Romano has said Manchester United agree a £60 million package deal for Mason Mount with Chelsea. It's done. Here we go. I didn't have the button.
Here we go.
There you go. How did that Mario audition go? Personal terms agreed weeks ago, and face-to-face talks between clubs made it clear the agreement is done. Mount becomes a United player. They never left the race. A bit more of information as well. More details. Understand Mason Mount will undergo medicals with Manchester United after the weekend, so that's next week. A contract will be valid until June 2028. A 5-year deal agreed weeks ago. The fee is £55 million fixed fee with £5 million in add-ons. In add-ons. That's basically the latest when it comes to that. The point being is, guys, I guess the big question is, KG, John Murtough said we are not going above £55 million. Yeah. They did technically in add-ons.
Difficult add-ons.
In add-ons. Difficult add-ons.
Yeah.
So are you happy with United's business there?
You know what? He's a Man United player now. That's the thing. He's a Man United player. I'm not over the moon by this signing. I'm not gonna lie to you. But it's one of those that I hope he surprises me. Again, I got excited about a lot of signings that were rubbish for Man United. So this is one where it's a different feeling, and hopefully with the different feeling, he actually shows up and does something in a Man United shirt. This is a player that Ten Hag seriously wants. Not even like we were pretending to kind of go for Moise Caicedo, right? This is the player that he wants. Again, the manager knows how he wants to set his team up. They say that he's a pressing monster. They say that he's got, there's a lot to his game that is there to be desired. Is he going to play in the Eriksen position? There's many questions to be asked, but we have to back him. Now he's officially going to be a Man United player. Well, welcome to Man United, Mason Mount.
What are your thoughts, Flex?
Yeah, do you know what? I'm with the manager on this one. I really am. And actually, I think Mason Mount, which I did say from the start, away from the money that we're paying for him, which I've always said was too high. I was like 55. Well, I can't remember what show it was. Quite a while ago. It was near the start of him, and we spoke about cut-off points. Mine was always 55 in total. Like there shouldn't be any more than that, and we shouldn't even be paying that. Yeah. But if I just look at the profile of Mason Mount, I actually think he's really good. I do, and I actually think he could be really good for us. And I think with the way Ten Hag wants to play, and the way Mason Mount, the attributes that he has, he's good on the ball. He's a technical player. He's comfortable with the ball at his feet. He can get goals and assists. He's proved that. He's mobile.
He can play in a few positions.
He can play in a few positions. And I think he's got a good football brain. Like I think he understands the game quite like a good game technically, like IQ-wise. So, look, it's up to Ten Hag to get the best out of him. I'm not going to sit here and say that at the end of last season, I started drawing up some targets in my head of what I would like, and Mason Mount was one of them. I didn't see it coming. Yeah. This is a really weird one. But I can see, though, that Ten Hag actually does really want this player. And I think it's... Look, we can get a little bit down about it and say, I didn't want him and this, that and the other, but essentially you have to look at it like this. We have to see the positives now. That's Ten Hag's primary target at this point. He's got it. Pre-season starts in a couple of weeks. He's through the door, so that's good. And the third bit, which we won't know yet, I hope this is the catalyst for outgoings, catalyst for, which we've seen some other people been reporting, that Ten Hag's now going to turn his attention to a goalkeeper, a striker, etc. Now you've got a midfielder through the door. It should be, or I hope that it is the catalyst for more things to happen. Because if it isn't, that's what I'm saying. Because if it isn't, then obviously we're in big trouble. Big trouble. But if it's the catalyst of more things to come, and again, I'm probably being a bit greedy here. I would like another midfielder though.
I don't think that's going to happen.
Exactly. I really want that 6, but it's not, because we've got to get the keeper, we've got to get a striker. It's probably not going to happen.
I'm to be honest, I'm surprised that we got this today, because it didn't feel like we were going to get like, oh yeah, it's done.
Imminent.
Today.
Yeah.
We weren't going to. Shut up, first.
You're an idiot, man.
Usually that happens in the little boxes.
Yeah.
Usually that happens in the little boxes on stream. Owen was like,
I mean,
Stop this Thursday
I mean, you guys
crap,
just
man.
saw with the way that I play that wrestling video game. I don't take any prisoners, okay? I'm undefeated today.
No,
and,
you.
I'm looking right down the camera to you, Josh. Hello, Josh.
Josh got smoked. Josh got smoked. He lost to me on FIFA. Yeah, lost to you. How many times did you beat him? 9 times.
I beat him. He did not beat me today, I don't think. Did you, Josh? Maybe once. But if a tree falls and no one's listening, does it make a noise?
Nah, the stream's going to cut off, chill. Josh's going to get mad.
Josh is mad. Josh didn't even want to set up the cameras and stuff.
No, he was getting
Anyway,
quite
cool. Let's.
But my point being is that I was surprised that we got this today, because it didn't feel like we were going to be getting like these developments. It kind of felt like, given how slow this whole thing has gone, it felt like it was going to be maybe next week, something like that. And let's be honest, the actual announcement from United still might actually be way off, considering how they do stuff. But I agree with your point. It's a start. Let's hope that it's a catalyst. If I'm trying to spin it and be optimistic, I'm glad that it's out the way now, because our next 2 signings are our most important ones.
Yeah.
The goalkeeper,
That's
the
a good point.
striker.
Yeah.
Well, the goalkeeper, like, apparently, this is what they're saying, is that because of the financial dealings and it's closing of their financial year or something for some teams, they have to get these deals through. So Inter Milan, they're having some financial issues, so they need to get this Onana deal through. So don't be surprised. Even they said the same with Chelsea. Chelsea need to get this deal done by the
30th of June. Yeah, that's the end of their financial year. That's when
and they want to include these funds, these bucks of funds.
And they were suggesting maybe that's why United kind of played a little bit hardball and said, look, 55 million still on the table. It's not going anywhere, because they knew as time ticks down, eventually they're going to have to accept. Yeah. And look, I think John Murtough will probably be happy, because he'll be like, see, I got the money I was looking for, £55 million. But he did go up a little bit. And as they say, in all of the tweet, in all of the tweets, Ben Jacobs, all the other ones go, United never walked away. So the idea of earlier on in the week, we're walking away from this one. They never walked away. Bullshit. They never walked away. But they got their man. Ten Hag got his guy.
And early.
And, well, this is a June signing, which is rare for United.
Yeah, what was it you saying the other day? We don't do it.
We very rarely, I think they were saying, because I've seen it in the last couple of days, I think Wan-Bissaka was the end of June.
Yeah.
De Gea was the end of June. I mean, that's going back some time as well. There's probably maybe a couple of others in there.
About 12 years.
But historically, we don't. Well, they just keep saying De Gea at the moment, don't they? Because 12 years ago, now it looks like he's going to leave. But the point being is that first signing, it cannot though. We can't now go through the entirety of like the tour and be like, so when's this next signing
100%.
coming in?
But how do you feel? Like, how do you like?
I agree with what Flex was saying, that I don't think anyone, before Mason Mount's name was brought up, nobody was going, I tell you what, we need to get in someone like Mason Mount.
Yeah.
No one was saying that. And maybe that's
which doesn't mean it's wrong.
No, maybe that's because he was a Premier League player, Chelsea player. We don't, historically, do we really ever sign people from Chelsea? Matic? Mata, that's about it. I can think maybe. And that's more recent history, isn't it? No, but my point being is no one looked at what happened to us last season, and the top of the priority list was we need another pressing midfielder. We do need one, because you saw the legs, Eriksen, you saw that absolutely. But when you look at like the table last season, and this is where it goes to goalkeeper, striker are the 2 big priorities. Is our goals conceded were roughly similar to those around us, so we did okay when it comes to that. Now, obviously, the eye test, you'd go passing up from the back. Need a goalkeeper that's better doing the distribution. Fair enough. Statistically, then you look at goals scored. You go, we need a striker. I don't think anyone was going, big priority is getting that midfielder in.
Bear with me.
That's not to say that it's a bad transfer, though.
Bear with me. This is a question. Might be a stupid one. Is Mount like way better than Fred?
Yeah.
Way better.
On the ball, yeah.
Yeah. In
terms of getting about the pit, yeah, I would say so. Yeah, way better technically.
So in a big game, you're 100%. Saying, I'm starting. The games where you say, I need legs.
Yeah,
here,
because Mount can do the legs. He isn't. Look, they're 2 different types of midfielder in it. Fred is a destroyer. Fred runs around and can win the ball back. But as soon as we need Fred to be on the ball, we've seen it. It's been a whole gripe. So what I think we need to be careful of is, it's interesting you bring up that point there, what you said, yeah. What we need to be careful of as Man United fans is that we don't turn our nose up at like the technical players who can keep the ball better. Like how many times throughout the season was I saying that like, and a lot of other people were like, the reason why we keep banging on about like someone's physicality or like Eriksen can't move or you're getting run past is because we never hardly have the ball. Like when we want to dominate the ball, we also look at our team and go, well, who's technically sound? Who wants the ball at their feet? Who wants to manipulate the ball? Who wants to be on the ball? Rashford doesn't want to be on the ball. Do you know what I'm saying? We haven't got a striker. Bruno, he's not. He can be on the ball, but he's the give it to him in the last phase and he can find a pass. He's not a build-up man. Although we saw him drop deeper in some games against easier opposition.
He wants more technical players, isn't he?
That's my point. He wants more technical players. Apart from people like Martinez and Eriksen, who are the two standout, who's really amazing on the ball.
Well, yeah,
Luke Shaw's calm on the ball and stuff like that.
Those two people, Martinez and Eriksen, this season, particularly when they first came in, we were like, have you seen the way they do that?
Exactly. Do you see what I'm saying? Just basic passes. And this is so when you make that comparison to say, but what is he compared to Fred? Not saying like you're wrong, but I'm saying that that's actually the issue there because it's like saying, no, we're getting a whole different profile. We need players and multiple players. Look at Bernardo Silva. Look at Kevin De Bruyne. I'm not saying Mason Mount is these players. I'm saying look at the profile of players City have across the pitch. Every single one of them, through to Akanji who's just come in, through to Ake, who when you bought him, Bournemouth, they're comfortable with the ball. And then the system works. So if you have more players like Mason Mount, I'm not saying that he's the best thing since sliced bread and everyone has to be him. But I'm saying if you have more players like that who think with this instead of the heart, then we're going to be a better football team and harder to beat.
But then, so my question
and he can move as well. He ain't Eriksen where it's just like good on the ball, 2 feet and stuff. The guy can move.
So do you trust that midfield? The question I'm asking is, you know, in certain games, the big games, do you trust that midfield over Casemiro, Fred, Bruno?
Yeah.
That's what we've been playing.
I would because it's better on the ball.
Before you go in depth, though, I got a ton of super chats, by the way. CeeLo says, waste buy. We need a striker, a centre back, and a goalie, but instead we pay 60 million for a basic player we don't need in the last year of his contract. Jack of all trades, master of none. Good job, Manchester United. No spelling error. Oh.
So was John O'Shea.
Ahmad says, to whoever is not excited about this transfer, hop to 442 and watch the Mount to United analytics. Jan says, Erik ten Hag saw in Mount what he saw in Gakpo, versatility. Jordan's been a member for 5 months, says that awkward moment when you've slandered a player for 2 years, now he's on your club and you have to defend him.
See, I haven't. Even when Mount was doing good at Chelsea under Lampard and Tuchel, I wasn't saying like, oh my God, we have to get him, but I'm like, right, Mount's good, man.
I just didn't care about him, to be honest.
Yeah, fair enough.
It's only now that we've been linked.
He's not crap. Like there's this weird thing. Not that you're saying that, but I'm saying like, there's this thing like because he's had this bad season, that every single Chelsea player of the whole squad had a shit season.
Who stood out?
Nobody, absolutely nobody. Yeah, Thiago Silva looked rubbish this year. You know what I mean? He's arguably still the best defender in the league, right? So he's been tarnished with this Chelsea-ism that just happened this year.
But I'm saying,
where you wouldn't take any of their
players.
players.
Throw that away. I'm saying
he's a good player.
Yeah,
he's a very good player.
But I'm saying now, like, throw this away. Do you trust that midfield? Let's say we're going to Anfield. It's Casemiro, Bruno, and Mount in the midfield. Are you guys comfortable with that? Do you think we need something else?
I trust it. I trust that better than what we got.
The thing is with that is different games call for different kind of players and setups. You know, maybe in that game, that one-off hostile away game, like Sir Alex used to do, you go, oh, let's just put some ball winners in there. Yeah. That's when you have Casemiro. I mean, the issue is, and this is why I'm not opposed to keeping someone like a Fred, because I still do think
there's a role for those types of players.
Big games, because we saw it this past season, City at home, Spurs at home, he did it as well. With Fred, and he just goes, look, sit on him and follow him around the whole game. Mount won't do that. Mount's not that kind of player. Yes, Mount will press, but is Mount that kind of player that, you know, and this isn't me saying that, Mason Mount or Fred's better than Mason Mount, because I don't think he is technically, but you do need options.
Yeah,
I think maybe that's KG's point.
But do you think McTominay and Fred both go?
No, so
I think only one of them will go.
My thing is, I just want us to be in a position where when we're in these big games, we can rely on the big players. So it's like, I know we've had to carry Eriksen in moments in big games where it's like, it's too big,
I don't think we carry him.
It's too fast for him, we can't put him in.
No. That's not Mason Mount. Mason Mount gets chances in these. Mason Mount is making runs beyond and getting on the end of things. I went to the FA Cup final where they drew 0-0 and they lost on pens. Or was it Carabao Cup final?
Liverpool.
They were both that, innit?
Both, yeah.
I think
He missed the penalty in the FA Cup final.
And he missed chances during the game as well. But I went to the FA Cup final.
Bigging him up.
Yeah. But like, when I just look at his generic play, I remember my friend that I went with, I said, I swear to you, I'm not just saying that because we got him, because I said it about Mane as well, because I was like, bloody hell, Mane's at it, he doesn't even look like he's breathing. But I said it about Mount on the day as well, I was like, he makes bare runs. I was like, raw, man. I remember saying, and he was one when he was clean through and he hit the post, he should have scored. Like, he's at it, he gets chances, and he does make line-breaking runs. Like, this is a player, I think, that makes Man United better.
Well, I wouldn't say like Thomas Tuchel is a similar manager to Erik ten Hag because they play different styles, but there is a manager there in Thomas Tuchel who has been successful and requires a lot of work rate from his players, and he really liked Mason Mount. He played quite a lot. We still got some more super chats. CeeLo says, imagine we need a striker and a goalie first and brought in Mason Mount. Austin Baker's been a member for 11 months, says, a June signing, guys, wow. Let's signing Queen mean put to permanent. Not sure what that one. Queen mean. Oh, to permanent.
Okay.
Right. Uber says fax flex twice. Fax flex twice. Fax flex squared.
Said that ages ago though.
Yeah.
I can't remember what I said. But, yeah.
Kyle says so Sancho? Question mark. Keegan says let's not get gassed.
Might be more output for Mount.
He isn't that much of an improvement on what we have. We still have to move for a goalkeeper and a striker minimum. Welcome back, Flex.
Big up.
Ahmad says Mount excels at finding pockets of space, unlocking defences with free balls and making intelligent off-the-ball movements to create goal-scoring opportunities.
He does.
She Loves United says one thing I like about Mount is that he can carry the ball. We have no ball carriers in the midfield. Eriksen and Bruno are passers.
I'm saying we're acting like we don't need this type of player.
I'm not saying he's a... I'm
not
saying,
us here. I'm saying like people are saying he's rubbish and why on earth would you get a player like this? I think I 100% understand because I agree. My priority would not be Mason Mount. My priority is a striker. And you lot saw what I thought about the goalkeeper. It was third priority, but it's worked its way to probably second, right?
Yeah.
But also, let's not act like this is a massive area of our game that needs addressing. Eriksen is the only midfielder that we have who wants to put his foot on the ball. Do you know how bad that is at Man United? Yeah. To the point where we're talking about pressing and we want to play out from the back. So what, if you get a keeper, which we're going to turn to now, which we're probably going to be Onana, let's face it. Yeah. And then you have a more technical midfield of people like Mason Mount. Like, it's making us better. Yeah. It's changing our profile so we don't... Our first four, the way we play. You see your thought, which I agree with because we've done it a lot, is like, oh yeah, because Fred, like, when it's like De Bruyne and that, like, need someone to sit on him. Do you think Man City, do you think Liverpool go, we need a player to shadow someone? What they do is they build their team so that it's technically sound, so they have to worry about us.
But we're not yet there yet.
But this is how you start. This is how you start.
Yeah,
but you have to undo it.
But that's what I'm saying about letting go Fred is you still have to keep those whilst you build yourself up.
Yeah, maybe Owen, but maybe there is a season where we go, now we need to get the depth of like what happens when Mason Mount can't play it. Because the whole point of this is we've had McTominay and Fred for time.
Maybe a youngster comes through.
For time, that's what I'm saying.
They say, like, copy.
But this is what I mean about how we've been conditioned in this period. We've had McTominay, passion and desire, McTominay and Fred for time, yeah? And talked about work rate, energy, and talked about how do we stifle really technical players because they're really good, so you've got to rough them up and kick them and do this. What happened to us becoming really good again then? Because if we're going to do that, there's going to be a point, like what Arsenal did, like what Liverpool, like anyone who presses the reset button and goes in a different direction, where you go, right, this is the start of this. Maybe Onana comes and he does concede some dumbass goals because of the way we play out from the back. Maybe we get Mason Mount in there, and maybe some people don't get clamped like they would have done if Fred was there. But the trade-off for that is Onana plays out 9 times out of 10 and commands his area and has great starting positions. 8 times out of 10, Mason Mount's making wicked runs, linking up with Bruno. All of a sudden, Rashford's getting more spec. Like, it's a big knock-on effect to change the whole perception and the way the team wants to be.
What I will say, though, is that, look, and I know this is what you say when you yourself don't like the signing. You go, look, if the manager wants it, back the manager. Yeah. But I think all of us would legitimately say that is genuinely true. We've seen last season, you can't really look at January because his hands were tied firmly behind his back. But we saw last season that pretty much every signing he made, they paid off. They paid off. You know, you maybe say Anthony Jury's still out a little bit. Fair enough.
He still did just enough.
Okay, you park that one to one side. But the other people, you go, look, if Ten Hag really wants this player in Mason Mount, and by all accounts he was his #1 midfield target, then I'm willing to see, and I'm open
He's
to
got
see
an
what.
idea.
Yeah, exactly, he's got an idea.
Ten Hag thinks he's a thinking man.
Yeah, exactly.
He will know what he wants to do.
With Eriksen as well. Look, towards the end of the season, maybe it's because he's come back from the injury. He's just a little bit older as well. Like he flags, and you can't doubt his class as well.
Yeah,
I'm not
his
saying
record was real.
No, I'm not saying like Mount's better than Christian Eriksen because I still think Christian Eriksen on his day on the ball runs midfields, and we saw him have unbelievable games against
And he's a different player to Mason Mount as well.
Liverpool at home. We saw him just absolutely brilliant. Some of the passes before the pass,
Wicked.
incredible. But in some games, and particularly with a higher tempo, maybe with a new goalkeeper in as well, with a goalkeeper in that's going to keep the tempo up higher as well, maybe you just need that bit more energy, bit more of something in the midfield, bit more of an engine. And then again, maybe that's what Ten Hag's looking at. Maybe Ten Hag just looks at it saying, look, I'm drawing a line through this team this summer, and I'm going goalkeeper, midfielder, striker. I'm just upping that tempo.
This is what I mean, and we can't underestimate the process of which it. Remember, I said about like until we look back at the team and there's like 3 survivors, 4 survivors, something like that, out of the whole team. Like we're not going to be able to judge this. Like we want to get back to where we want to be really quickly. Look at the stipulations that Erik ten Hag's working under with the Glade. There's no point doing that. That's a whole nother show. We know that, yeah? But we just can't be in this little bubble of like where we're scared to like get different profiles of player because they're not Caicedo, because they're not Rice for the big 100 million, where you're going, but Fred would do this or McTominay. Bun that! That's gone. That's crap. Like, that whole thing what all them other players used to give us, it was rubbish.
Yeah.
Well, I think what United,
we want technically sound players.
What I think they might have hurt themselves with though, and let's be honest, that whole, we were interested in Caicedo, they can claim it wasn't a game, it was a game. Like, I know that they might have actually been legitimately interested in him, but we were never getting Caicedo.
No. Yeah.
Chelsea are going to sign Caicedo. And
especially they're going to use half the money now for Mount to go get him.
And I think they've kind of set themselves up for a bit of a backlash from the fans because when Chelsea do sign Caicedo, the reaction is going to be, why didn't we get Caicedo? Because all of these
players... But he was available for 5 million,
at that point, that's the big
big
one.
For 5 million,
But for 100 million,
it's going to give the perception that we missed out, where maybe in reality
they just chose Mount.
We were never in, or and like you said, we chose Mount, and that's going to hurt. That's going to hurt the perception. You know what I mean?
We couldn't afford someone that's going to cost 8
I agree. But my
noise.
point is now the reaction of fans will be when Chelsea does sign Caicedo, they'll go,
yeah.
Why didn't we do that?
Well, we could have signed him for 5 million.
But look how quickly things change, though. And I'm not saying it's perfect because we've said this needs to be the catalyst, but we all do it. I'm putting me in this bracket. There's been times I rang Owen through the week. How many times I've said, we're in trouble, man. Like, we're just not signing anyone, man. Like, everyone's making moves. Look at us, we're not doing this. We say on social media, just like that, we're the first one in now. Like, it does just change really quickly. And I don't think we're going to get any surprise signings. I think we'll get the signings that we've been working on. So like Onana's like there's a lot of talks going on already. It's in the work. Like Mount was in the work, so that now we can get to this point. I don't think there's like just a new player that we just go out the blue anytime soon, like before tour. Is what I'm talking about.
Did they get congratulations because they did get their man? They got their man.
They got the man, and like I said, for a price they were looking for. I mean, we were talking about when we go. I said was it this morning? I said I'm really worried when we play Arsenal in that first or second tour game because they're going to have by then Rice, Havertz, and probably Timber. And you could say now it's a couple of weeks away from that game.
We could have
Onana and Mount. The striker one, that's probably that's going to be the later one. But by that point, you could have Mount and a goalkeeper, and then you'd go, it's all right. I mean, I think because we're all here assuming that we ain't getting those 6 players we got last summer.
But it doesn't. You know what we have to deep it as well is.
You never know if a player might get like 4 or 5.
No, but what we really have to deep is last season. Everyone was lauding Chelsea's business, saying they're playing Championship Manager, and like,
basically out of the show.
Everyone was lauding Sorry about that. Everyone was lauding Chelsea for being amazing and buying all these great players, right? Then it flopped. You know what I mean? When it comes down to it, they spent close to 600-700 million, right? And it didn't work out. Now, Man United, we didn't get the same level of signings, but we did some good business. It worked out. So now, it's one of those trust the manager. This is all we can do is trust the manager. I honestly hope the next signing is the goalkeeper though.
I think it will be.
I really do.
I think because it has to be because De Gea is going to leave in a day tomorrow.
Tomorrow. Well, my biggest worry, to be honest, is actually the striker. Yeah. I'm not worried about the goalkeeper because I do think we'll sign him.
We have to.
My worry is the striker one because it's quiet.
Who is it going to be?
It's quiet. I mean, we're just assuming like it's probably going to be Rasmus Højlund, 20-year-old. 10 goals.
Take it.
We got a load more super chats as well. Magnus says, KG is too basic. Mount in midfield will allow us to control the game more. Look at one holding midfielder and not scared to play possession ball. SK says, welcome Mount. Would be great if we can do a Lavia or Edison Alvarez swap for Donny, since Caicedo is too expensive.
Shit, we still got Donny. I forgot
Every time we
him.
mention Donny, I always forget him. It's
That's
really
our
bad.
player.
You'd probably like, he'd walk past you in the hallway, you go, you still work here?
Oh, shit.
Yeah, innit? I thought you left.
Wait, the Ian Wright one. I thought you were dead.
Yeah. You'd probably like
his
Ian
maths
Wright.
teacher,
Ian, like Ian Wright, you'd take the hat off as well, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Joffrey's been around for 10 months, says Mount makes runs and gets the ball. Donny makes those same runs. We just don't pass to him. Donny just can't stay
Donny
healthy,
can't
though.
move like Mount. He can't get out of the pitch.
Donny's still a Man United player. That's
Yeah, it's
mental.
crazy. Yeah.
United View Scout says, I'm still so butthurt about Kim Min-jae. They've gone on a journey, haven't they?
Oh, forget
They've
Kim
gone on
Min-jae,
a
man.
journey, United View Scout. Like a 3-year journey.
Oh yeah, shit,
what I
yeah. Oh yeah, United
Like
View
a
Scout.
full-on
That's
journey.
your guy, man.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, yeah. That is your guy.
CeeLo says, I'm more upset about what we paid for someone in the last year of their contract.
Yeah, I could get with that.
Magnus says, I meant look at City with the one holding midfielder. Oh, okay, there you go. SK says, people are worried because we don't have a striker yet. Everyone would feel better if we had a central defensive midfielder and a striker sorted. Hendy says, I'm going to be a big hater.
Gonna be a big hater.
Kyle says, the way you describe Mount's role flex, why didn't you see the same in Sancho, especially when the We Talk Ajax guys said Erik Ten Hag likes winger/10 hybrids, technically sound?
Because Sancho's intensity. That
Work rate.
That's what I'm saying. My biggest thing is, I think Sancho wants to do the right things. He just doesn't innately have a high level of work rate. Like, here's my prediction already. Yeah, Mount will give us more than Sancho. When you just look at the player and how they're affecting the game and what they're doing, because he's more intense. He can get on the ball. He wants it. Put in a sprint to get back, then he's going to sprint to go forward. Just because he's a different type. I'm not saying he's technically more gifted than Sancho or he's got a better touch than him. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about when you look at the games that get played and you look at the impact that the player has on the game/the team. I bet you there's more games next year where you go, Mount was bloody at it, man. That was.
Well, they've come to a bigger club, innit? So.
Well, there you go. Do you know what I mean? And I really hope that Jayden comes good, but to answer that question, is purely intensity.
Keegan says, I'm not overly excited about Mount, but if Erik Ten Hag has not disappointed yet, he doesn't miss. I just don't see a striker with a reported budget and it's quiet. Carolina Savage says, we got fleeced by Chelsea. Maddison was there, 40 million.
But Maddison again. Maddison's a straight 10.
I didn't want Maddison.
Maddison can only play in a 10 and ain't got no legs to be running around really like that. I think he's perfect for Spurs for that reason. Any of the other top 6 teams, not for me.
I think also as well, look, I still am quite critical of John Murtough and just United in general. But the one thing I have been saying recently is pick a direction and just go in it. Enough of this indecision.
Yeah.
With this, look, clearly they've gone, right, let's just get this done, go in this direction. And look, if it pays off, it pays off. If it doesn't, it doesn't. I was just checking Mount's injury record there because I was thinking, I wonder my question was going to be how many games do you think he'll play? Because again,
last year was a bit of a bad one.
It was a bit of a bad one, yeah, particularly in sort of the second half of the year, sort of January, he had an injury, a knock.
Oh, you've done well.
He had
I've been practicing.
He's a brute pelvis.
That's good. He's practicing it.
They go, you're right, sir.
Well, sorry guys, there's proper people listening to this with big headphones in, just getting this right into their between their skulls.
Go on, how many injuries?
Well, he had a knock at the beginning of the year, missed a game. He had a bruised pelvis in April, missed 34 days, missed 5 games.
That really hurts.
And then after that, he had another pelvis injury.
Pelvic.
Another pelvis.
Yeah, but
then he missed 7 games.
Yeah, but here's the thing, Owen. I'm saying last year, too many managers. There's a lot going on here. Pelvis,
Carrying the weight of the
I'm
team.
leaving.
pelvis, man.
Then that's when the sturdy dance
Bro,
started as well.
listen, man. Kante missed the whole Potter
You just
era.
skipped over what he said there.
What did he say?
Say that again.
That's when the sturdy dance started as well. You know that dance the kids do.
Thing is, I know what that is.
Oh, no.
kick.
Owen, after you done your spinneroonie yesterday, just keep yourself still, man. Don't be hurting yourself.
And also, I'd just like to say, by doing that, I've actually torn all the ligaments in my leg.
Real martial
There is blood flowing out.
But no, I do think that though, last year, I think any Chelsea player that was injured last year is looking at the chaos and going, listen,
I'm not coming in.
let me just extend.
Well, and also, they saw that there was 50 players at the club. They went, I can miss
what's
a game.
the point? What's the point? And he made up his mind he wasn't leaving. It's his boyhood club. Probably. Do you know what? Probably an awful year for Mason Mount.
Anyone.
And he's probably. And actually, we're going to get a really hungry player. We're going to get a player who's buzzing to come and want to like reignite his after having 2 really good seasons at a good level.
We signed a Champions League winner.
Exactly. And actually, can we just talk about him, about what we think, how his influence would be on the squad as a personality, as a character? Because I think like anytime I've seen him in interviews, again, I know it kind of happens with the English players a bit, but I do see him as like one of the boys. Put it this way, KG, when we're out on tour and Mason's walking, you go, yo, Mason, we say like, he's going to get involved. I think and it's not about us, but I'm just saying like within that group, you look at like good characters to have around and good people for the dressing room. I think he ticks that.
I wish him well, man. Honestly, like this is the bottom line to this is he's at this club now. He deserves our support. We've been wrong about so many signings. We've missed it so many times about players that we thought was going to turn up, and hopefully this one's the difference. So
Jacob Steinberg from The Guardian is saying that having agreed the Mason Mount deal, Man United are ramping up their pursuit of Inter Milan goalkeeper Andre Onana, who wants to move to Old Trafford. You know what's kind of crazy? Because it's Thursday. There's no way we could get like an Onana, here we go, over the next couple of days, is there?
There is a way.
Oh, the next couple of days, you're saying?
We could get one tomorrow. Onana, here we go.
I do think, especially because the actual contract will be up. You know what I mean? So technically, Man United won't have a goalkeeper.
The decision's going to have to be, we're going to find out within the next 24, 48 hours, is De Gea going to stay or is he going to go?
I think De Gea will leave and Onana will come. I do.
Do you think it could be Louis van Gaal Mourinho setting? Do you know, like Van Gaal, he just won the FA Cup, and then literally the game finished, and they went, Jose Mourinho's new Manchester United manager. Is there any possibility? Is there any possibility that United have been working on this in the background, and in the same way that, like, once they actually decide, okay, De Gea's gone, that quickly they can go, we've already done it from Vernon.
No, they've done it already. I believe that because look. Bro, we're talking to Onana direct. Fabrizio Romano said we're having direct conversations with Onana. That means Inter Milan are giving us the leeway to say, go on,
we'll get him.
Have a
the same way how I was always confident we'll get Mount, and you know Inter want this we'll get Onana. I think we will.
I'm happy with Onana though. That's a signing that I'm excited about. It's again, as you said, we're changing the style of our football and changing the profile.
That's what I'm saying. When you just keep adding and you do that over a couple of windows, and before you know it, you've got 5 or 6 new players in your starting team sometimes. Well, you go, bloody hell, this is completely different.
A lot of games.
It's happened again.
It's happened again.
It's happened again.
It's happened again.
We've gone
the dodgy
radio.
plug. It's an absolute disgrace.
It's an absolute disgrace.
Yeah.
Radio.
It's now the podcast.
Radio viewers struck again. We're living in the 1930s. This happened yesterday, KG, where the camera turns off.
I've been having that situation.
Actually, tell you what, it's good. It's good, actually. No, it's gone off because the likes are too low. And what should happen now, there's nearly 2,500 people watching, Jeez. So if you haven't already, click the like button. Let's get to 500, 750. I don't know if you've noticed, it's been a hell of a day here at UV. It's been a hell of a day. We started off with...
Oh yeah, this was all today.
Yeah, we started off with the transfer view. All 3 of us virtual. It's changed to all of us in person.
Oh, yeah.
In between then, there's been a 2-hour FIFA stream, and Flex broke a world exclusive. World exclusive today.
You mashed up Josh.
I absolutely destroyed Josh on
but
AW5
the world doesn't
forever,
know about that.
but they need to know. But no, it's been a crazy day.
It's been Mason Mount. And then the club said, you know what, we kind of treated David Gea wrong, and we might sort him out and give him like a little party. So
it's all going off in the words of Flex.
It's all going off.
Do you know what's really interesting? Just to take it away from that, actually, because I asked the questions, and we haven't been live. We put the interview out. What do we think? By the way, like David Gea said a mad thing.
Now we're talking.
We haven't had the chance to actually talk because let's be honest. By the time he gets it tomorrow morning, already Mason Mount. It's kind of going to get lost in
what's weird?
There's something massive happened today.
Do you know why it's crazy? Yeah, it's because usually that news is broken by the big outlets.
It was us.
And then you go live to react to it and go, they said this. We did it.
So what? We should have gone live. How mad would it have been if we had the interview live?
We had a post show.
Live after the interview.
Yeah. Reaction to
our
No, but on a serious note, yeah, that was the insane, when that piece of news came out of saying, look, the deal's effectively dead in the water.
Yeah, he said, well, he said it's dead because, and I think he actually explained it really, really succinctly.
Yes.
And he was really articulate where he explained, because
What word was that?
Succinctly.
Succinctly.
Succinctly?
Succinctly.
Succinct.
Not distinctly.
No, succinct.
Is he trying to say that I'm saying a word that doesn't exist?
Yeah,
No, I'm in awe.
He's impressed with what you've done.
Well, you got first.
Succinct.
I take note. When you say
Yeah.
Succinct.
SIS, SIC.
SUCCIENTLY, I think that might be.
I've never heard of that
And that's
word.
a real word. Anyway.
Succinctly. What does that mean really well? Like detailed? What does it mean?
Well, you see what he said earlier. What he's just said, he's been saying it so clearly, like, come on, bro.
Clear, yeah, all right, cool. It's a good word.
The point being was...
I want to see someone type it.
The point being was that because again, with all of those sort of financial stuff, shareholders, it can go over our heads, can't it? Because we don't know anything like that.
We don't know
So
shit.
when he explained it and said, look, you've got these minority shareholders, they've essentially threatened the Manchester United board, saying, if you agree, there's Sir Jim Ratcliffe takeover, whereby your majority, should I spell it right?
It means brevity and clear.
Clearly then, yeah.
Yeah.
Wicked word, Owen, well done.
Basically saying, look, if you accept that or you recommend that, we're threatening you with a lawsuit. We're threatening you with legal action, and you've got those independent board of directors, 3 of them on that board, who said, okay, under those circumstances, we will never recommend that bid. Therefore, as David Hellier said, effectively, it's dead.
Because what
I've not heard no big outlet, especially the financials and that's why I thought it was really interesting, which is why I wanted David to come back on, because
bro, he knows the number that the club's been sold for.
Oh
right
yeah,
now,
we forgot. He said I know it.
I know that.
Just ain't told you.
Wait, hold on. He's the only one. Yeah, he goes. Everyone's got these relationships.
Yeah.
I know the number. I just need to find someone else
I just
to
need
tell
an extra
me
source.
that numbers. And what we learned about Reuters and Bloomberg and stuff is, we don't just say stuff for no reason. We are acquisitions and business only. We don't actually care about what you fans think, and it's nothing to do with us. Right now, how much is this thing worth? Usually, I would know. He said we would know every step of the way in a deal like this, but because of the strong NDAs, they can't do. There's no way.
Which makes sense as to why we never hear anything really from them. I know this might be skipping the super chat gun a bit, but I just want to take that one because I think it's quite interesting for now. SK says, I've got to thank those minority shareholders then really for understanding what's best for the club.
Fantastic.
But they're doing what's best for them.
It's got nothing to do with
It's good
What,
though.
you think you could just freeze me out and I can't get my piece? I'm going to sue you.
I'm loving it though.
But as a byproduct of that, it blocks that.
But here we go. Let's now, when we deep it and really look at this thing, right? So you got what the Glazers are doing.
Big up SK for the super chat as well.
You got what, sorry, not the Glazers. You got what Sir Jim Ratcliffe's doing. Sir Jim Ratcliffe's only offering, saying, I'm going to take this percentage from the Glazers. There's still a percentage that the Glazers have that they wanted to buy in 3 years. So what they now have to do is find that money, you see that 3-year money plan? They have to find that for how much the club is worth now. When you've seen the prices going up to being like 25, what's it now? 25 per sale?
$25
25 per share and stuff like that. They'll probably finally get to 30. He hasn't got that. Remember, they're already leveraging their debt on Ineos. There's no way that you can really restructure this thing to make it work, unless you're saying, you know what, Glazers, how about this? We're going to give you less. But if we give you less, how much of the club do we own? We've now got the full scale. Right now, you're playing with money that we don't actually have, which is why we haven't heard a new bid or something else. The only thing is, where it's annoying is the Glazers should just accept, well, if there's no money, if there's no more horses in the race, why are you expecting them to put extra money down? Because I'm not. If I think I'm the only one there, you know what's saying, raw?
Yeah.
What's wrong with
I don't have to. You need me. This is your only way out.
You need me.
Yeah. And don't give me, the whole minority shareholders of Carlisle and all that, Elliot, because we know you're not going to accept it.
That, yeah.
So again, that's why it explains why the Qataris are confident, because he said, well, the Qataris are confident because they're the only ones left. They are the last people standing in this race.
What I liked about what David Hellier said as well was the fact that it was like a joint piece. So it's like his bit of the article was more focusing on like the shareholders and them pushing back and them saying, he's like, I know from the sources that they sent a letter saying, if you do this, we're on you. He's saying facts. That's amazing information.
Wicked.
Then he's saying one of his other colleagues, I didn't know all the names of the other people who wrote the piece, their emphasis was on the noises that they've been talking about from the inner circle at within Qatar, the noises in the Qatar side of things that are saying, well, we are confident, but that's a gym one that the way it's effectively dead. It's dead because, and like you said, he I wanted to drop the word.
Succinctly.
He succinctly just explained it. You know what I mean?
But it's because it says standstill.
Get out of inflection. Even know what it meant 8 minutes ago. You bloody wally.
And the best thing is, KG, you couldn't even remember it. That word. But basically, like you said, it's effectively dead because they can't restructure it, to KG's point. They can't go up. They can't lend any more money. And
you can't take something from the Glazers because the Glazers still want to get paid.
Basically, those minority shareholders are saying the only way we'll accept the takeover bid if it's for everything, including ours. And as of right now, there is only one bid that's for 100%, which is Sheikh Jassim. So, you're stuck. And unless there is a compromise to be met, which you can't rule out anything, then you're going in that direction.
That's a real serious compromise.
And that's a big change.
It's a big change.
To go from like 50 to 69% for this money that you've borrowed a lot of it, to 100% for £6 billion. You go back to the banks, you go, about that money, about that $3 billion, can I double it? Excuse me?
Just quickly, it's not us, but Tim, yeah, he's just Arsenal fans keep trying to get us with that as well. Some Arsenal fans have said to me, we got Martinez, mate. Like,
we got the best one. We had the best one.
And actually, on this very table, Ajax sat right there and said, which was really interesting, he said that he didn't think Timber was ready for the Premier. That was the title of that video, Timber not ready yet.
Is it also, just thinking about Mason Mount actually, is it worth pointing out, we weren't the only club in for Mason Mount. I think that's worth pointing out. Liverpool wanted him.
Bayern Munich.
Liverpool, by all accounts, very early on into the process, Mason Mount made his mind up, I want to go to Man United.
Champions League football.
Sit down. And that's why, remember when, and this is just taking it back a little bit though, when I was outside, that was last away game I done, Brighton, outside Brighton.
He meant to be playing with Bellingham and in that Liverpool
side.
side.
Of course, exactly. That Liverpool side.
After
Brighton.
And Mbappe.
Remember, it was Brighton, I was like, we're throwing this away. Oh no, it was West Ham first, wasn't it? It was West Ham, then we had to play Brighton, then we got moved to. Well, not moved to, but we lost in the last minute. I was like, we're throwing this away. Like, if we don't get top 4, the targets that we're going to be trying to get is completely different. Like, we can't not be in the Champions League again. And you look at it like that, beating Liverpool to that 4th spot, it affects things. I know they got Alexis McAllister, and but it changes the pool. It does. It completely changes it.
We've still got a million super chats to get through.
Yes.
Ahmad says, Brighton want no less than 100 million for Caicedo. Be realistic, people. Abahit says, why the F are we buying an overrated, overpriced, mediocre British players? Come on, Ten Hag, learn from Ollie's mistakes. Wow.
Jeez.
That was aggressive.
Choco Pade's been a member for 10 months, says Mount improves this team. Sad about the price, but when will we listen to ourselves? Our players are hard to sell and the board is clueless. Naeem says it might be a transfer like Casemiro, where in a year or two we think we got him cheaply.
Yeah. Casemiro, remember when everyone thought Casemiro was here on the Saga holiday?
No one gives a shit now, do they?
Yeah, I never forget that.
No one cares. Keaton has been his first super chat as well. Says they should sign Andre from Fluminense as a defensive midfielder. Thishan says the worst, here we go. Why didn't we buy McAllister for 20 million less? How do we buy him for extreme and don't make any profit when we sell? The thing is with the McAllister one, if a player's made their mind up they want to go to a club, there's nothing they can really do.
It's done.
You know what I mean? SK says, got to thank those minority shareholders for really understanding what's best for the club. Flex mentioned that one. Yep. Ahmad says, the leeches and the rat tried to swindle all the cheese and got caught. Time for extermination. Really heavy on that rodent pun there.
He went in.
Yeah, it was good. Culture, how do you say that word, KG?
Culture couture.
Couture. Yeah. Says, we got played. Our Tarns should offer £4 billion, and that's their first super chat as well. Lamin says, pleasure doing business. Mount won't be missed. Well, obviously a Chelsea fan.
Until he does something good, and we're like, oh, we love him.
Yeah, Ahmad says...
Oh, he's scoring against Chelsea next year.
Do you reckon?
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
At the Bridge?
At the Bridge.
Might not be at the Bridge, but he's scoring
Okay,
against
And do you know what they'll say, actually, Chelsea, when he scores at the Bridge? Chelsea, Chelsea, Chelsea. They've got a new chant, I think, for Fernandez. It goes, Chelsea, Chelsea, Chelsea.
Oh, you're funny.
It does go up, though.
Chelsea, Chelsea, Chelsea.
It does.
Who else have they signed this summer?
Um,
Who else have they signed? Who else have Chelsea signed this summer? Who's that guy they signed up front?
Jackson.
Jackson. He's got a chant as well. It goes Chelsea,
Chelsea,
Chelsea, Chelsea, Chelsea. Ahmad says, I told you 4 weeks ago there is only one viable option, Sheikh Jassim. SK says, UV and Flex, I'm expecting no less than Altans on the next after Here We Go.
Bro,
After that David Hellier interview.
I swear, yeah, if we're popping bottles, guys, if we're not together for Altani, like the announcement, we are popping bottles. You have to understand that. Wherever you are, go to the shop. It's happening. If you like a protein guy, like just blend a beautiful protein shake, whatever your thing is, Schlur, whatever your thing is, we're gonna go crazy. We're gonna enjoy it. It's gonna be a party.
Minna has been a member for 2 months, big up Minna, says, I'm amazed Chelsea fans aren't that mad at that a Cobham legend product is joining a rival. Imagine Rashi joining Arsenal.
Because the club's got no soul.
That is a good point that she makes, though.
That's why.
That's a player that's come through the academy, has won the Champions League, and he's joining a Premier League rival, and they're going, good riddance.
Yeah, they don't.
Yeah.
How harsh is that?
That's what I'm saying, because they haven't got that, like, they're not built off of that. They're not built off of youngsters and youngsters coming into the squad and winning things.
Yeah.
Like what we are. They don't have that soul.
And they'll be like, yeah, but that's sentiment, Fleck.
Yeah.
Sentiment.
And I'm not saying, like, that's why you should keep all your youngsters if they're not good or whatever, but I'm just saying Chelsea fans couldn't give a crap about... Their Cobham thing is used as a production line. As in to sell players and make money.
How many
until
ex-Chelsea
Lampard
players?
got there because he had the transfer ban, young players weren't getting through at Chelsea.
No.
It wasn't. The Reece Jameses of the world and flipping Levi Colwell's, even though he's still not quite there yet, Trevor Chalobah, flipping Mount, Tammy Abraham, and they had to sell him. Sold him and made a profit.
Still got Tamori.
Tamori,
like
Livramento, I think he might get sold.
Is it Gay? Is he?
Baroja, he's going to get sold. Like,
There's loads.
there's loads. Do you know what I'm saying? But the way they view their production line is we've got the best and it makes us money, not we keep these players and they come into the squad and become legends. That doesn't happen. Mason Mount and Reece James were breaking the mould, as far as we were concerned.
Yeah.
And now it's just Reece James left. So,
Ahmad says, Mason Mount, welcome to United. And Vegeta says, when we get Altans, I'm buying the shirt.
Altans. KG, if we get Altans,
It's the guy from Bloods.
would you?
It's the guy from like Samson Kyle, proper
Oh,
celebrity.
that's
Probably
big.
trying to call
Take
him.
the
show
call.
off.
Say you're on the thing so he doesn't say anything
Live.
private, but like.
Wait, wait, Arsenal fans, what's going on?
No.
What? Are you all right? I'm live doing. Can you not see me doing live doing business?
What big group chat? Wait there, hold on, wait there.
Look at the celebrities.
All the celebs in the chat. Wait there. Are they all Arsenal fans?
Do I owe you money?
Yes.
What, did you say they wouldn't get Timber or something?
Signing, so give me my money.
I owe you £50 in it.
What did you bet?
Right, so I didn't think it was coming before. That was when Man City was involved.
Right, but he owes me money.
What do I owe you money for?
No, him up there. He owes me money. And I owe you a Man United.
Yeah, you owe me a
Oh,
Man
you lot
United
just
shirt.
passing the money around.
Hey, I'm working. I'll get back to you lot soon,
it's
bro. I'll
mad,
get back
yeah.
to you lot soon. Look, this is why.
Nah, you're crazy. You got sick. No, you're sick in the head. You're crazy. You're crazy.
I know.
But right, can we just break down
That's a
the
bag of acting.
I owe you £50. No, I owe you £50. I owe you £50.
He's like, nah, him up there, he owes me. And well, actually, yeah, I owe you a Man United shirt. So really,
It's mad.
you just
In season 1 of Bloods, I said to him, your team's shit. Yeah?
I'm Cajun.
Your team's shit. You owe, like, let's bet. And I bet Arsenal fans, I just meet them, I'm like, we'll finish higher than you.
Okay, so we lost
all
that
the
one.
time. No, we won that one. Do you know what shirt I said he wanted? I said, give me a Wan-Bissaka shirt. This is when Wan-Bissaka was new. This guy has been sitting on this bet for time. Yeah, it's
Wan-Bissaka nearly got sold.
Wan-Bissaka almost. This is it. So this is how mad it was. So now, anyway, yeah. And then I had a Declan Rice bet because I saw Man City and Sorry, I owe him money. It's all right. I'll pay it.
You've got, honestly, mate. Honestly.
He's in Man Like Mo Beam, that one.
Oh, yeah, I like that one. I forgot where we was at, but yeah. Well, just an average Thursday.
It's an average.
As KG predicted, things would be. He said things would be happening Thursday.
I tell you what, you know what?
Tier 7!
Do you know what's
He's
kind
so
of wild?
lucky.
You know what's wild? He said Thursday, yeah, and so Jim Ratcliffe's bid's dead. We signed to Mason Mount.
Is he back on the tier list?
Tier 7.
Can we say this out? Just put a yes or no.
Can I be back on the tier list?
Can you just be back on the list?
Bid is
Back to 9.
dead. After we spoke.
Yeah, but you never predicted that. You just said
I
Thursday.
said Thursday.
What did you say?
What did you want on Thursday?
What's going to happen on Thursday?
Thursday. The bid is dead. Ineos.
And the best thing is, you could have pressed the button. The bid is dead.
Oh, mate, listen.
I'm having a good day.
On that note, guys, let us know in the comments. Are we through super chats?
We're through on the super chats. Oh, and one more. Ahmad says shirt sales will hit all-time records when El Tans wins. And just very, very quickly, a rapid poll. It got replaced, Josh. I had a rapid poll.
It was like
It replaced
75%,
yeah.
wasn't it?
Yeah, KGR back.
I'm on the tier list. Come on.
So you're back to tier 9.
No, they're taking me. The community put me as tier 7.
7?
Yeah, a big.
They're just
big
gassed
jump.
by the news. They're just letting that.
The bid is dead. Ineos can't compete. What do you call it? The minority shareholders have sent a letter saying they will consider litigation.
How can I say this succinctly?
Hey, when you actually take a step out of it and listen to the Carve things, it's actually really funny.
It's wicked.
Now I know why people always laugh. Like, it actually is really funny.
He's just getting his, because he has to be on there
He
for a
got
certain
Carve.
amount of time.
He's pissed off though. He ain't been about. I haven't seen him for a
He's
bit.
mad. He's so angry.
Yeah, maybe he's just on holiday. Yeah. Smash the like on the video, guys. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. Maybe Owen's going to be live later. Maybe we're going to be live later with something else. Maybe it's Own Honor. I don't know. Imagine that.
All I know is Thingy can't look him in the eye.
You missed it.
And we're gone.